Welcome back to the Bendin Wenches YouTube channel. My name is Brian. For you new subscribers that are tuning in, and if you've been here, thanks for watching this one, guys. So we are back on our LTD project, the one we've been wanting to play with here. So since the last time you guys seen it, we washed it, we vacuumed it, we polished it, we've done all that good stuff, and here we are ready to figure out what's going in there. We figured it out. We were going back and forth. We were really leaning on doing something direct injected like an LT. We do have a couple L83s and an L86 sitting around. Electronics are still on the steeper side, and then we didn't have any 6L80 or 8L80s, you know, or 8L, whatever the hell them, you know, the new transmissions laying around. We don't have any of them laying around. So we also wanted to do something kind of unique. So wrong or right, this is what we chose. So we're just gonna do a basic old, boring old LS swap, right? Yeah, I know, another one. I mean, it's been done, it's been beat to death a million freaking times. But it works, it's proven, and it makes power. So, for a transmission, though, that's what you're wondering. You're like, well, you're gonna go 4L80E, 4L60E, 400. No, we thought, you know what, what's gonna make it a little different? Now, it's probably a really stupid idea because we kind of chose a poor transmission, but we went out to our buddy Wayne's, and we found this. I know what you're thinking. You're like, really, guys? An NV3500? Do you really want to put one of them in an LTD? You know what? Why the hell not, right? I mean, they're not good for a ton of horsepower, but I know that, yeah, we're gonna keep it very mild. They're probably just gonna go a stock 5.3. We may stick a, you know, bump stick in there or not. I don't know. But we did find this unit, low mileage, out of an S10. You can always tell an S10 NV3500 because it is the TH350 output. We were debating going half ton, but they are bigger, and the first gears kind of suck in those. I had one in an S10 one time. There was a V8 truck, so we did score a minty fresh, we're gonna call it a new water pump. So we're gonna go ahead and get that guy cleaned up, and we do have a 5.3 laying around, and we got a 6-liter sitting here too. We're debating though, because that's the fine line you're playing with those transmissions. You know, ideally, a T56 or a TR6060 would be way cooler, but it's what we got. We're doing it out of budget, right? It's not a show car. It's not it's not a Corvette, guys. It's grandma's old two-door LTD that some guy turned into his drag car that we're gonna turn into a street cruiser. So you're asking though, how are you gonna put these things in there? So these things have been derby cars for years, and the derby world, which I was a part of for many, many moons, I picked up a thing or two about it. So let me show you the mounts, because believe it or not, they make Ford to Chevy mounts. And then we got some special motor mounts, and I'll ease that along too. Let me show you that stuff real quick, guys. Well, what is that? That's a old minty fresh Speedway Motors radiator. Circle Track buddy of ours had that up on the old Facebook marketplace, so we scored that. What's nice about this radiator, guys, if you've seen it, you know what's up. So, being it's a dual pass, you can see the seam. It puts the inlet and the outlet on the same side. For you LS guys, you understand what that means, because the Gen 3 stuff, like we're probably gonna run, in this situation, they put, basically both outputs are on the right-hand side. So it just happens to work out. As for motor mounts, so these dudes, look at these high-end units. Already prefabbed, pre-bushed, and these things are cheap. These were $100. Like the time this guy put into it for $100, it's crazy. I mean, they're nice units there. Look at that. We got them from, let's see here. Me and this guy share a name here. I don't know the guy, but hey, whatever. Brian's Machine Shop. Hell yeah, thanks, man. That's where we got those. If you're putting your small block Chevy or whatever you want to call it, anyways, in this situation, in an LTD. Also, we got the old Amazon slider mounts. If you guys are unfamiliar with these, you'll see how they work. What's nice about those, they give you plenty of adjustability. And honestly, they're my favorite to use. If you've ever installed an LS into a vehicle with a factory transmission, something like a 400 or something, you just set the motor in, slide her back, bolt her up, tighten the motor mounts. So, between the combination of Brian's Machine Shop's mounts, that's gonna make it super gravy. As for the cross member, we did not get one, so we bought a a super cheap Transdap. It's actually for a C10, so I don't know if it's gonna work or not. We're gonna modify it, we'll make it work. But as for these mounts, guys, I wanted to show you how cool this is. So basically, you see how them are. We'll just blow those off there, torch them off. It's already got the bends. It fits right on there. We just set her in, weld her on, and you're thinking, why would you weld them in? You can't replace them. Well, what's nice about these, Brian's Machine Shop sells replacement urethane. So that's gonna keep it tight in there. And then being a stick shift too, you know we're gonna beat on a little bit, but it is an MB3500, so not too much. Just remember that. We're not trying to break it just yet. But our buddy at the junkyard, Wayne, he had a couple of those transmissions, so I mean, the clutch pedal, we haven't really thought about that yet. I mean, it is hydraulic, and you know, we did score a minty fresh slave cylinder and all that good stuff. We did score that out there too. As for the pedal though, I'm thinking maybe like a Willwood or something that bolts to the firewall, maybe has a reservoir on the inside of the car, because these things don't have a ton of room. So that's one of the fun projects you guys are gonna come along with us. Because normally, I've seen guys do these, but they'll use a Mustang style T5, and it'll be a cable style, and they would run, and it puts it on this side of the brake booster, because it kind of crosses over the brake pedal and stuff. So we entertain that, because I've seen they sell Mustang cable to hydraulic, which would put it over on the other side. Maybe an option too. We'll see what goes on there. So let's get to pressure washing this transmission off. Let's choose an engine, see if we can set something in there and mock up those motor mounts for you guys. At least get that going, so we get some satisfaction out of this car. It's been sitting a couple days. We're finishing Deer Wreck Hondas and all that good stuff, and racing. We did some bump and run action the other day, so trying to keep that stuff going too. So we wanted to get back on this project for you guys, because this is what we want to play with here. We want to burn the tires before snow falls. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get this thing sprayed down. Good stuff, by the way. If you ever use Super Clean, by all means, good stuff. You can use it in the house, you can use it wherever. Go ahead and soak her down, and then we're going to go ahead and power wash this, get her looking fresh. I know you're really not going to see it, but, you know, peace of mind, right? So we'll get this done, get her all power washed up for you, and then we'll go ahead and get it, hopefully that motor bolted up to it shortly. Let's get this power washed. All right, well, that transmission dries. I think it's time to get these motor mounts cut out. So there is bolts from the bottom. With the lower control arms, I don't know if you guys have screwed these before, but they're a pain in the rear to get to. So what we're going to do is just, that's kind of like a nut. It's welded on there. We're just gonna torch them off. We do got our fire extinguisher here, you know, for safety, of course. Get them torched out of the way, and then we're gonna prep for our new motor mounts. Now we're gonna paint the engine bay. We got some nice satin black paint. I think it'll look good for, well, what this car deserves anyways. At that point, we'll fit our Brian's Machine Shop's mounts in there after we prep all that. I may just tack weld them in the best looking spot, because them slider mounts are super adjustable. So ideally, we want the mounts with the most, you know, frame to weld to, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I mean, they do fit the contour perfectly, so that'll make it nice. And I think it's thick enough steel where I don't think we got to pop them urethane bushings out. I don't know. We'll see how easy them come out, though. We may do that as well, just to make sure we're covered. So let's get the torching these out, and then we will go ahead and flap disc all those areas there in prepping of welding. And like I said, we may reach in there and just put a couple tacks when we go to set this bad boy in there, because we want to get it fitted in there good. But we've done a G-body before, and we ran into clearance where the power steering pulley runs into the gearbox. I don't know on the Ford, but we ran into it because we were running truck accessories, where we had to put a smaller pulley on it and all that good stuff. So let's get the torching. Now guys, there's probably an easier way, you know, like laying on the ground and trying to get them bolts out, but I'm just lazy. So let's see if we got them off the rest of the way. Well, they're moving. And yes, I did grab the biggest hammer in the fleet. And it ain't quite doing the job. All right, we'll go ahead and fire up the torch one more time real quick here. Let's see if that does the trick. Hey, now we got her. That's what we were looking for. Hell yeah. That's what we're looking for, guys. So now we can go ahead and try test fitting the Brian's Machine Shop motor mount. See how that bad boy fits in. Like I said, we're gonna flap disc all that. And yeah, see, it saves us some laying on the ground. I'm all for that. All right, so you see the contour of this, and you can kind of see there's a step in the frame. So look at that unit. That thing fits right there. And honestly, guys, it only really fits one way. There's a decent gap under here, but I think we'll just center it and send it. I think it's gonna be our best choice. The other one is shaped differently to match the other side. So we'll go ahead and get that taken out and get that one cut out real quick and see if we can get these motor mounts tacked in here. You know, guys, you gotta love a full-size car when you can stand in the engine bay. We're going to get this cleaned up and then we can tack them mounts like we talked about earlier. I think that's gonna work, not too shabby. Just gotta kind of worry about that. Man, these mosquitoes are just freaking terrible right now at that time of the year. My goodness. 80 degrees out and these things are still flying around like pterodactyls. All right, let's get this other side wrapped up and get these things tack welded in. All right, guys, we're going to tack these in. We did get up half-ass measurement. We measured from the core support to the mount at 19.5 inches. That seems like the most center line for these things. If we look down here, it looks good on this side. It does, there's a little overhang. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop that off with like a sawzall or grinder. And then same with this side, little overhang. But 19.5 seems like a sweet spot. So we're gonna go ahead and get this tacked in. A couple healthy tacks, we're gonna send it and we're gonna set the motor in. The things are super adjustable, so we should be good from that standpoint. If not, then we can at least knock the tacks loose. But we do have to pull the motor and tranny back out anyways. The motor we're using right now is not the motor that's going in it. It's just a test engine to fit in here to, you know, get everything fit. So let's get the welding. Well, that ain't going anywhere, so we just burned a couple hot spots in her. We're gonna do this side real fast and then start getting that motor set in here. All right, guys, I wanted to show you these mounts real quick. I know I kind of showed you off the engine, but so honestly, I think they pretty much clone the Dirty Dingo mounts because we've used them before and they're the same thing. But look how slick these are. That's the coolest part about it. Especially, like I said, if you got, you know, something area, the transmission set in there, and you ain't got to, like, you know, that way you ain't got to worry about messing with drive shafts or anything. You just pop your small block out or big block out, drop an LS in, You know, if you use the old clamshell mounts, these things are slick. I mean, I've seen them plates. You know, I've done LT swaps before, and the plates are handy for those situations. We put a LT4 in an El Camino one time, 69. But when it comes to like this kind of stuff, I mean, there's so much room for error. You know, we have small block, you know, that mounts from Brian's machine shop. And then we got these dudes. I mean, this is gonna make it gravy train. So we're gonna go ahead and set this thing in there, and hopefully it lines up. I mean, it should, it really can't not. And then we might pop the tranny up from the bottom. We're debating if we want to try setting it down in there. We're gonna fit this in first, kind of position where we want it, because we do have some headers we're gonna try weaseling in there too. So, and then with this cowling here and stuff, we're running a truck intake, so to keep it on the cheap side, you know, of course, that's how we roll around here. So let's get this set in, see what the next step is. That way we can kind of plan the rest of the path. I do have one of the Chinesium, 302-2 knockoff Holly pans we're putting on there. We're leaving a truck pan on this for now, just because it's on there, but the new engine will definitely have that new pan with a little more clearance in the front, so pretty critical sometimes with the steering arm there, at least on G-bodies for sure. So let's get it set in. All right, let's get this bad boy in there, see what she fits, hopefully, huh, Dad?
Oh yeah, you will.
I think we're gonna go...
We're gonna come over this way?
Yeah, I'll tell you, hold on here, let me... All right, let me lower it down a little bit so it ain't swinging so much.
That'd be good right there.
Yeah, back a little ways. Just kick this over. Here, you want to run this?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and go down. It's gonna be real tight on that wiper cowl, guys. Oh, whoa, 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 hold on, don't go back that far. Go down. We gotta go down like a foot, so. Just hoping that intake clears good. All right.
Put on more?
Yeah, go down a little bit. All right, hold on. So, I think we had our motor mounts on the wrong side. Let's switch them around real fast here, because we are way off on our motor mounts. Yeah, let me switch them real quick, guys. All right, guys, we got her set in. We did flip the mounts backwards, but by all means, I think that they normally go the other way. At least, I mean, I used them on a square body before and a G body, so in this situation, they seem to work like that. But boy, oh boy, this engine is sitting up really high, really freaking high. So I don't know. I mean, these motor mounts, they claim small block Chevy, and these are slider mounts to replace small block Chevy. So, but I mean, it did give us some steering shaft clearance. So, I mean, it is sitting good. I'm really concerned about if it went down like 2 inches, it could go back further, and hopefully, I mean, the transmission's pretty small too. I just don't know where it's going to place the shifter at. You know what I mean? There's already, somebody already butchered the carpet. Let me show you that, because they also had some floor shifter or something in here. But so we're hoping. Well, hell, I could barely get in here at the hoist, but it's in the middle there where they had some D&M thing or something in there. So we're gonna, I don't know, we're gonna leave it here for a minute and try working around this and seeing, because I mean, technically it's already in there. So I don't know. I wish it was down about 2 inches, honestly, but if the intake fits under the hood, I mean, it sucks that it sits so high, but at least, I mean, damn, a truck pan almost works. It does hang down, if you can see that or not. Truck pan's hanging down a little ways, but my biggest concern is right here where that power steering bracket fits. I've ran into clearance issues on GM, but this is a little more profile, lower profile, so I guess let's just kind of set a couple pieces on here and see. We're gonna use probably a Gen 3 intake, and I bought some super premium Amazon $80 headers too, so we're gonna see if them fit in here, because that'd be cool. If not, I got some F-body manifolds. That was always my go-to. I did a BMW swap. If you go back through some of my shorts and stuff, I ended up selling both those cars, but I had an LS swap BMW 550i, and then I had an 86 Regal. I had a 6-liter in as well. And I got some old F-body mount or manifolds laying around, which these are super nice, guys, if you get into doing that stuff. They're just getting hard to find because they were only on like, I think 98 to 01 or something like that. Anywho, moral story is, let's get to putting some stuff on there and show you that fun stuff. All right, we got our, for 80 bucks, man, how do you go wrong? So we're gonna try these out. Honestly, this thing is so damn high in the air. I feel like, yeah, look at that. It's kind of close to the heater box, but I think it'll be fine. I think it's fiberglass and all that good stuff. We just want to start a couple bolts and loosely put them in. What did they give us? Proven point that this is Chinesium. Number 3816. Let me, any LS guy knows it's 1015, or excuse me, 8125 for the bolts. So let me see if I got some in the junk drawer. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, so actually I had one he's hanging on the shelf. You guys see here's Dorman part number 0413. Right there's your size, 8125 by 30 mil. So these are your manifold bolts for these. They still have stainless ones and stuff. The stainless ones scare me. If you guys ever install them, I mean, if you gall the threads, you're screwed. So yeah, these are not much better quality Chinesium, but you have these break or you break a stainless one off, you're gonna be really bummed and you ain't drilling that out. So let's see if this thing works. I mean, they fit pretty decent so far. If I can just get a bolt to actually start, I probably fit a thread chase these. I did the motor mount bolts. Oh my goodness, yeah, she's getting tight. All right, one more of these guys in there for peace of mind. All right, let's zing that tight. Wow, guys, look at this. So I don't know if it's because the motor's 9 feet in the air, but I mean, we're not running the column shifter. So, but honestly, there's a gob ton of room around these headers, even on the bottom aspect. And yeah, them collectors are positionable. So we'll look at them from underneath, but I think what we're doing, I was talking about Rusty that we did the transmission for his wife's truck. He does a lot of our tuning and stuff, and he's a hell of a TIG welder. So we considered doing some sort of like, I don't know, 2.5 inch with an X pipe, just something that sounds cool, you know what I mean? Nice cam in it, just a nasty sounding idle. And I mean, it's be a car show thing, you know what I mean? Just chopping along and all that good stuff. We'll see how that goes. But look at this side. I mean, look at that heater box. I mean, worst case, we could wrap that one, but I think that'll be fine. I mean, that's all fiberglass and stuff. But look at the room. That's not bad. These motor mounts, they did fit in there nice. Like I said, we did flip them around. But hey, it's in. The only clearance I see is right here. But it's on the PCV. I mean, worst case, we could always nib that down. And again, this is not exactly what we're using, but we could always run a piece of rubber hose. You know, cut that down a little bit. Some 3/8, PVC or PCV hose, and we'd be in. But coil packs are gonna clear. I'm really down to the truck intake. So we're gonna set that on real quick for you guys and see, because that right there will make or break the whole budget thing. Because I'm telling you what, if you guys bought an LS6 intake or even a piece of shit LS1 intake, they're expensive. Oh my gosh, for what the heck you're getting, it's crazy. So, and honestly, truck intakes, Richard Holden there says they do perform better. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the way they're, all the torque and stuff. So they are ugly though, I agree with you. But let's go ahead and set a truck intake on here and let's see if we clear it. Because really, right there's the only spot I see any issues. I mean, and honestly, we should fit under the hood. I'm hoping we get the little Vortex cover on there. If not, we do have one of them ugly, I'll just show you. We do have one of them ugly, these fugly looking intakes. I do have one of them if we need it. That is a rec port head, so that means we got to get into our stash. And I think we gotta set a. Well, we got some 823s on this 6 liter right here, so we got some options, folks. But let's get this intake on. All right. Man, guys, that is not going to fit under the hood. There's no freaking way. I will be very surprised if it fits under the hood. This motor is sitting way too freaking high. I don't know what to do, because this'll probably fit. Maybe. No, it ain't gonna fit. Son of a biscuit. If we can get this damn thing to go back a little further. No, we're not gonna fit under there. So I don't know. We do have, let me grab that other intake. I don't really want to use that thing, but yeah, let me get it real fast. So even this thing is just too tall for this wiper box there. And I don't know how critical it is. I mean, realistically, I think that's there really just to keep the water from dripping on the engine in the rain. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's meant to, yeah, so dude, if that engine was down a couple inches, I got to raise it up in the air and see what we got for clearance underneath, because I know we do have that other pan. If you guys know what I'm talking about, like I said, 302-3 or 302-2, I'm sorry. They got like 3 steps. So we also got to pay attention to this. So it's kind of critical that we probably should have put that pan on, but it'll be fine. Let's put it up in the air and assess the bottom side. And then, like I said, we may just have to get on the hunt for a car intake or figure out how to lower the engine down. I didn't think it'd be that high, so yeah, let's check it out. By all means, guys, I forgot that we had super slotted motor mounts, so I slid it forward about, you know, an inch, and it clears. Honestly, I mean, it might, if you look here, you know, it might fit under the hood. I don't know about this part, but if we can get away with that, that's gonna be our best option for the current situation of this build. Now, if we come across an LS6 or something intake, cool. This is gonna keep us on the budget. But, I mean, we're getting somewhere. I'm gonna try the accessory bracket on. Again, this is all trial and error, this is all garbage stuff. We got something special going in here. And it's not this. This is for test fitting purposes. But, so far, Brian's Machine Shop motor mounts, a super duper knockoff Dirty Dingoes, backwards I think, by the way. Our Amazon headers, I mean, they clear. Look at that steering shaft clearance. We got a freaking mile, and if we put a Chinese choo-choo boy on this thing at some point, we might steal it off the mega truck. We haven't even checked that thing out since we blew it up. I've been pretty discouraged about it. So let's build something new, right? Let's try some more parts. All right, so we got her up in the air, and by all means, we got a gob ton of room. So we do have a truck pan in here, and this is a Gen 3 truck pan, and it's tight. We slid that motor forward a little bit to get intake to fit. So we have like 3 different oil pans to mess with. We got Gen 3, Gen 4, and we have that swap pan. So something will probably work. The engine's sitting pretty high like we talked about, but we got a ton of room. We are missing a dowel pin, so we're just gonna go ahead and just try fitting anyway, stick a bell housing bolt in, and see kind of where the shifter lands, and make sure the transmission's gonna fit decent, because right now, by all means, that transmission's micro. I mean, look at that thing, guys. So we're gonna go and set that on here and see if we can get it fitted up there and see what you guys think. I'm pretty excited. You can see where they already bored some holes for, you know, their old B&M or whatever was on there, and you see where the cable went through, so that'll work out nice. We had a big boot to cover up the carpet. Hopefully it fits in there just right. One positive, these things are pretty damn light. There we go. Hopefully the tranny jack will go up high enough. And then we'll see what we're looking at. I'm hoping the shifter lands right here, guys. I know we've said it 9 freaking times, but that will sure be exciting. Because honestly, right there is the perfect spot for it to kind of pop through the carpet. But my transmission jack, it is a 2-step. And this thing's had some miles put on there. I got it from a good buddy, Brian. Closed up the shop a little while back, and she's had some miles at his place too, so. But he gave me a hell of a deal on her, so we'll go ahead and run her till she fails. So we're not putting the flywheel or anything on yet. We do have it all. It's more of just extra weight right now. So give me a hot second. Let's see if we can get this set in there. All right, so we got her fitted in there. So we're gonna have to move this thing back. I was hoping not. I slid it forward so it would fit better, you know what I mean, with the intake and stuff. But what we're running into is, if you can see our shifter, we're gonna kind of verify. Maybe we can, but I'm gonna measure from this hole where the cable is. I mean, I think we're under the dash. So that is not gonna fly, because on this thing, it ain't like a T56 where you got a couple mounting spots. I mean, if we had one of those, it'd be nice because it'd put it right in the right spot. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is sitting kind of high anyways, but regardless, if we take the intake off, like I said, we had it set on there just for fitment purposes. I think we can slide the whole unit back and then see if we can get that shifter to fit. But it is hanging there, believe it or not, just by them motor mounts. But them are urethane, and them things are pretty freaking stout, other than our, you know, crappy tack welds. So let's lower it down, and then we're gonna kind of assess the inside and see where the shifter lands. Other than that, from mount standpoint though, I mean, this thing is pretty straightforward. I do see these things get kind of janked up a little bit, so we'll have to probably run a thread chaser on those. But I mean, they sat at the yard for who knows how long, so let's get to the next step. All right, guys, I just got back from the old junkyard there. We were having some troubles with the intake clearing, so we did a couple things off camera. We lowered the motor down a couple inches. I'll show you how we did that, and we got it to go back. So it's kind of a pain in the butt trying to film that and do it at the same time. So we did get that buttoned up, and then we ran off to the junkyard. I'll drop that clip in here. All right, guys, we're out to a local yard. We had to score ourselves an intake for our car. The old truck intake wasn't gonna work, so gonna rob the old worst intake you can ever get for an LS4 intake off this Impala SS we found. All right, guys, if you get into one of these things, there's one bolt that's just a pain in the ass. Right back there. That dude right there is tucked under this bracket. Bring an 8mm wrench. Oh, me and this dude had a long journey, but it's out. It's coming out, so sweet. Thanks, guys, for this one. This is going to be hopefully going to get us going anyways. Get our car going here shortly for you, and it's be a good time. And then when we got back, here we are, set that on. So we did pick up, yes, the world's worst intake for an LS. It is an LS4 intake off the front wheel drive Impalas and Grand Prix and all that good stuff. But it fits. Richard Holder said there's a video out there. I watched it. 58 horsepower loss compared to a Gen 3 intake. That is a tremendous amount. But remember, we have a very weak transmission, so it's not the end of the world. And it was at a local yard down the road, not our buddy Wayne's, but we went to another place up in Houghton Lake, Michigan there, and they were able to hook us up, and they hooked us up with a good price. So no complaints on that. But we did go ahead and actually, we did have to try another set of headers, because remember, we had the motor set up really high. So in the process, we went and dropped the motor down. So we ended up getting a set of V8 S10 swap headers, and we had to use the driver's side. So look at what we did. We ended up flipping the mounts again, and we flipped them side to side, which brought this down, and then we re-drilled new holes for that. So by doing so, we have next to no freaking room on this wiper cowl, guys. So sadly, it's a low performing intake, but it fits perfect. So it kind of is what it is. And then this S10 header worked out really well too. It's kind of almost like an F-body type one. It drops down, and there is just a god ton of room. And we were able to keep the passenger side header on there, so that's cool too. So I think what we're gonna do next is we're gonna try and go ahead and pop this motor and stuff out, get our motor mounts buttoned up and get them all welded in, get our engine bay painted and stuff. I think that's gonna be a big thing, because our new motor build is coming home here. We had another buddy of ours assemble the short block for us. He's got a machine shop and a hot tank. It's just easier. He's got a clean area. You know, it's a huge, huge deal. But we're gonna go ahead and throw the heads on it and stuff like that. Yeah, let's get to the live action. All right, something I wanted to get to real fast. So like I said before, they had the carpet already all cut out, but the shifter, oh goodness, you can see, no, you can't really see it, but maybe a little bit. The back of the shifter is right here. So we're gonna go ahead and take our air chisel. We got this fancy cutting bit on there, and we're gonna cut this hole a little bigger. Now, granted, it would have been smart to tape off the top of the transmission. Nobody said we were smart. Let's get to cutting. Look at that unit, guys. She fits in there. We're gonna tighten her down a little bit, and we did cut. We got a little excessive, and then we had, you know, a little bit of the you know, sound deadening material went inside the transmission, but it'll be fine, you know. We just want that satisfaction of seeing what it's gonna feel like to drive this and see how much we gotta cut out of it, you know. Well, I can tell you our ashtray is right in the way, but we might be able to heat this guy up a little bit, and hopefully it'll clear. Guys, we want to get the full effect of this, so the only way to do that is get the boot and the shifter out and screw it on there. Look at this sweet shift knob. It lights up. Of course, the batteries are dead, you know. You think sitting at the junkyard with, you know, sweet LED lights, the battery would actually work, but no. Guys, that is not bad. We're gonna have to bend it a little bit. I mean, we just bump the ash. I mean, really, we probably could remove that. We don't smoke anyways, you know, but I mean, when is the last time you've seen a 5-speed in a box Vic, 2-door with an LS? Probably never, right? Maybe, I don't know. But I'm kind of bummed it didn't go back enough to cover the carpet, but you know, whatever. I mean, we'll just take and put, you know, we'll get a cup holder, sorry, console or whatever. It's gonna be sweet. Now we get the get back to taking everything apart, because now it's time to remove everything and paint and do the boring stuff, because the new motor's coming, like we said earlier, and it's going in. We got new clutch, new flywheel, used ass transmission that can only handle like 200 horse, but it's gonna be glorious. We have that LS4 intake that's gonna just choke it right down. It's gonna be like running a 2-barrel all over again, guys. All right, guys, we saved you some of the boring stuff. We got these motor mounts welded in, burned them in all nice and solid. That was a lot of welding, but they're not going anywhere. So, you know, and then, yeah, now we get to clean, and we're gonna kind of clean up some more of this garbage. And then we're gonna go ahead and just fog everything with like a low gloss black, the whole engine bay area. I think it'd be our best bet. And then we can go ahead and set the new motor in. But it's gonna be a minute. We gotta put the heads on that and all that good stuff. Once we get it here, hopefully, well, for you guys, hopefully in a few minutes. So let's get to it. Well, guys, we dusted her down with some satin black. It looks way better. A couple shiny spots. The paint's still dry, or still drying anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and they went and they got paint on these. So we might even paint these plastic pieces. It looks like shit. They got it kind of all oversprayed and stuff when they painted this car. So we're gonna do as best we can. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But ideally, worst case, we'll fog this all black, tape them off. And then most of this wiring is going to the wayside by all means. This is for the old TBI unit. All we need is headlights and tail lights, and that's about it. The rest is going to be through the GM computer, so we should be good to go from there. So we're going to go ahead and dust on another coat of this, and hopefully, I think the next time we're going to clean up a little bit. I know we're not going to use the AC, so we're going to remove these lines here, get them chopped out of the way. It's been open too long, and for us to screw around with that, and up here in northern Michigan, honestly, guys, we do get some warm days by all means, but most of the time it's tolerable with the old, you know, 60-mile-an-hour windows down type treatment. So well, special delivery. We got the fresh unit for the old LS LTD. So we got ourselves a fresh 6-liter, Gen 3, Gen 4-ish, however you guys want to look at it. It's got a 24X, but it's the full float rod motor. So it's like a 05, 06 style, the good ones. And she's ready. We gotta go ahead and slam the heads on. Like I said, we had our buddy Larry go ahead and put this unit back together and go through it. He's got a nice machine shop and nice clean spot to do it. We got a nice gravel driveway full of dust. So yes, we still have to put the heads on it and all that stuff, but we'll be cautious. We won't kick up no dust or anything. So we're gonna get this on the engine stand, get this thing together, and get it painted a special color. Well, folks, there's a motor on the engine stand. So we got, like we were telling you earlier, we got a short block here. Our buddy Larry took care of that for us. So we did go ahead and put the flywheel on it just because it was easy when it was in the back of the car. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and get this unit put together so we can put her in there. Now, like we told you before, we don't really have a clean spot, so we got our lovely step, some rags, some used lifters, used head bolts too, huh? You know, it's NA, it's all right. It's gonna be just fine. And then just to prove a point, we also got a 243. Oh, where's it at here? And a 799. I mean, they're the same, but people say they're different because, you know, Corvettes came with this or whatever, but the casting's the same. So for us, it doesn't matter. It's going on here and it's gonna make horsepower. That's why we're doing it. Real quick, guys, I wanted to go through something real fast. So right here on the, I think it's the 302-2. It's like the 3-step pan. Okay, we got the Amazon version. But you see how there's 3 steps? So you have to go ahead and cut off the front part of your windage tray here because that pan dips down so low. And then also check your clearances here, guys. We had to kind of tap that down, and I always like to put like a 3/8 bolt or something across it. You want to make sure you got, you know, enough room for oil to go in there. So on that note, let's slam this bad boy together for you. Well, guys, so you slam an LS together on a budget. Sloppy mechanic style, used head bolts and all. We're gonna go ahead and paint this bad boy here, and then we're gonna hopefully be getting her set in on the next one. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. This one's gonna be a fun one, guys. You gotta stick around for this one.